G'day guys, how are we all? It is the coach here. I hope you're all doing pretty well. It is Monday the 11th, which means it is my birthday. Yay. So we're going to play some trivia. We're going to play some AOS quiz. I'm going to start it up behind the scenes, but basically it's great to have you all. The way this works for everybody is we play multiple choice. Oops, my apologies, ignore that. I'll just go back to my normal screen. So the way this is going to work, guys, is you will be answering in the chat panel. So basically, there'll be a bunch of questions and there'll be a Q&A. So I'm just fixing up behind the scenes. There'll be a bit of a Q&A, and you will respond using the live chat, which is pretty cool. If I don't think so, say so myself. So I'm just grabbing all the links. I thought I did, but it turns out I didn't. But we'll be starting in about 1 minute's time. Hope you're all doing really well. So if anyone's wondering what I got up to on my birthday, I actually started off by having a meal at a Viking restaurant. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Cool. We are now back on track, so I will share screens. The first question will kick off in literally 50 seconds. Hope you're all ready. This will be a combination of law and so law questions as well as rules questions. There might be some stuff about other things, but basically it is multiple choice. So hello, everyone in the chat. All right, I'm back on track now, ready to go. I see I've got 2+ Tough in here. Hello. I've got Scathe. Hello. Dante, thank you very much. I've got the 3D printing legend himself. I've got Mr. Crazy Horse. Hello, Jerome. Nice to see everybody. Bulldog Hammer, thank you so much. Thank you very much, James. Everyone, there's so many cool people have come out to hang out with me. So thank you for spending a little bit of time. We'll have a couple of rounds, guys. So there'll be about 20 odd questions in each round. So it'll be 3 rounds. And this is round 6. So we are about to kick off. I hope you're all ready. So the first question to kick us off is, which Gargant in the Sons of Behemat can move an objective from its starting point? Is it the Gatebreaker, the War Stomper, the Man Crusher, or the Kraken Eater? So using the YouTube live chat, you will respond A, B, C. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1, 2, 3, or 4. If you think who kicks the objective in the Gargant army. Cool. So a lot of people thinking it's number 4. I think only time will tell. You've got about 14 seconds to get your answer in. A couple of 2s, couple of 4s. And if you are joining us in from Twitch, just know to respond, you'll need to be in the YouTube live chat. But there'll be 20 odd questions in each round. We'll see how we go, and let's see what's happening. So which Gargant in the Sun's army can kick an objective? So this is coming in from the Taker tribe. Not Taker tribe. The Taker tribe is led by this particular Gargant. The dogs go wolf. Cool, getting a whole bunch of answers in. And it'll come up very shortly. So I've been playing this army recently. It's been absolute amazing army, super enjoyable if you're thinking of picking up a Gargant army. And the correct answer was the Kraken Eater. You can kick it 2d6, and if you take the Taker tribe, there is a way to increase that to 3d6, which is nice. With some objectives, you can boot them and change the value. Question number 2. Who are the shadowy cabal of criminals in Anvil Guard that assisted in its destruction? Is it the Scourge Privateers, the Black Ark Corsairs, the Black Scale Coil, or the Grand Concave? By the way, if the font size is larger or smaller, that's not an indication that that's the right answer. It's just the size of the font for the box. So don't think that it's a little sneaky trick. So answer 1, 2, 3, 4. The first question, by the way, is your answer, so you can't change it. So do have a think. Who are the shadowy cabal of criminals in Anvil Guard? I'm seeing a whole bunch of people thinking it's number 3 or number 2. Thank you very much. So a lot of 3s, a lot of 2s. Now, I'm not sure if people are just following the lead here or if they truly know the answer. But as we know, Anvilgard got destroyed in Broken Realms Morathi. It is now called Hakuron. It's a pretty cool temple. If people haven't played with it yet, it allows you to have 1 in 4. 1 in 4 of your units can be Daughters of Cain, and you'll gain that Daughters of Cain keyword, which is so you'll gain the Hakuron keyword. So it's a nice little combination. But yes, the correct answer was 3. It is Black Scale Coil. Thanks for everyone jumping in and saying hello. Hello and happy birthday. Thank you, everyone who jumped in to say hello. It is truly appreciative. So the next question is, which of the Lumineth Realm Lord element temples is the rarest? So is it River, Zenith, Mountain, or Wind? Which of the 4 Lumineth Realm Lords element temples is the rarest? And I'm not quite sure. I'm not the biggest Lumineth Realm Lord. I just know that when you combine all of the powers, it summons Captain Tyrion, which I'm sure Tyrion is not far away. For any of you got your true believers who are waiting for Tyrion, I do wonder what that's going to look like. We have kind of seen the new, potentially some new models coming out. We've seen some cloud, we've seen some wind. We don't know what that looks like, what that's going to be. Maybe a model on top, maybe a model summoning a cloud or a cloud element. Which of the Lumineth Realm Lord element temples is the rarest? My guess would have been Zenith, although I'm not really sure. A lot of people think it might have been number 2. I'm seeing James thought it was 2. I'm thinking Big Ponders was thinking of 4. Sean thinks maybe Tyrion is like Tron. I imagine it's like Captain Planet. Captain Tyrion is now canon. I'd be down for Captain Tyrion. And it was Zenith. Zenith was the correct answer. I guessed that right. I made this quiz about 2 weeks ago with the help of my Discord. So they all threw in a bunch of additional questions. So some people guessed Wind. I don't know the logic behind that. My Lumineth book is still wrapped up. What does Scragrot the Loon King call his personal guard of Dankhold Trog bosses? Now, this is one I can't get behind. Is it the Big Unnans, the Big Uns? Is it Evies? Is it Concrackers? Or is it the Gobblemores? This is... Sometimes this is really challenging for me to say. Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? What does Scragrot the Loon King from the Gloomspite kits called the personal guard of Dankhold Trog bosses? They're our Troggoths, our trolls, his personal protectors, Scragrot, who controls the Bad Moon, or he thinks he controls the Bad Moon. Which one do you think he calls his personal guard? I've got a bit of a split one here. This is probably the first time I've seen a proper split. So there are a lot of people not sure about their Gits law, having a bit of a guess. I'm seeing 1s, I'm seeing 2s, I'm seeing 3s. Do I see any 4s? Mostly 1, 2s, and 3s. I mean, our man of the hour, Jonathan, thinks it was number 3. This guy won in the Christmas stream like 3 of the 5 games. So, but he was wrong. Jono, sorry, mate, you got that one wrong. It is the Evies. The Evies are the Dankhold Trog bosses that Scragrot the Loon King call his personal guard. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Maybe get inspired to make your own unit of body. Actually, you know what? That's actually a good idea. I might make some. The Kurnoth Hunter's ability, Tanglethorn Thicket, allows them to do what? Is it inflict mortal wounds? Is it pick a unit to fight last? Is it re-roll saves? Or is it -1 to be hit? What does the Kurnoth Hunter's ability, Tanglethorn Thicket, allow them to do? Is this going to be a regular thing? I'm not sure. I'm paying a fortune for this software. So we'll see how we go. I think the challenge for this type of thing is to generate these quizzes that can take a long time. So maybe we'll save them at least for special occasions. And I'm having a little side chat with Doug from 2 Plus Tough right now, our lore master, who's saying some of these questions are hard as hell. So if I can get Doug, maybe I should get Doug on the show. When we'll do another combo show. He's got all of the. If you want to know more about lore, if you want to know all about Age of Sigmar, and you want a head start to the next quiz, go check out Doug. But maybe we'll get him on the next one. But I'm seeing a lot of people pick 1, 3s, 2s, 4s. Not really sure about this one as well. So Kurnoth Hunters are a very strong unit in Sylvaneth. And what it does, it allows them to re-roll their saves, which can make it very challenging when you are facing a bunch of, let's say, 9 Kurnoth Hunters with, 9 Kurnoth Hunters, lots of wounds, go down, put down that Tangle Thicket and Tangle Thorn Thicket. Age of Sigmar was released in which month in 2015? Was it released in April, November, December, or July? Which month was Age of Sigmar released? Some of you may not have even been here for the start of Age of Sigmar, so it'd be interesting to see when you think it was released. For anyone who keeps an eye on Age of Sigmar, you may know. I'm going to shut up at this point. I don't want to give away any hints, but was Age of Sigmar released in the month of April, November, December, or July? Why not use Kahoot, Lars? It's because it's not free. I used to use Kahoot. There's a few things that make it Kahoot a little bit challenging, but I do use Kahoot a lot at work. So Scathe didn't start playing until 2019. So this is just a complete pure guess at this point. For anyone who knows Age of Sigmar or just Games Workshop release cycle in general, their financial year starts in June. So you see a lot of things that either they want to kind of increase their profits before they end the financial year. So it means there's usually a big release in May. And then June would kick off. So what we would have seen is June, July, there's normally a nice little big release. We've seen Sigmar release in July. That was the Nighthaunt versus Stormcast. We saw, I think, 9th edition 40k released in June or July. So you normally see June, July has some big release period. Who is the God Beast Argentine's arch nemesis? Is it the Lode Griffin? Is it Dracothian? Is it Ignax? Or is it Yimnog? Which of the God Beasts? Who of the God Beasts Argentine's arch nemesis? Who is their nemesis? Is it the Lode Griffin, the Dracothian? Is it Ignax, or is it Yimnog? So Yimnog is the father to Sons of Behemat. Ignax, we know, is the God Beast that was fought by, I guess, the god of the Fire Slayers. Dracothian, we know, is tied to the Stormcast, being the Drake in space, the space dragon. I'm not really sure a lot about the Lode Griffin. I assume it's the father of Griffins, or the mother of Griffins. So a lot of people are saying Dracothian. I'm not sure if that's because it's the one that you're most familiar with, the one that makes the most sense, or if it's the actual correction. Why are they arch nemesis? Why is Argentine and whoever this is? So everyone's saying 2, and Seraphon, of course, Crazy Horse. How dare I not include Seraphon in this? How dare I? Crazy Horse being a massive Seraphon player. So the correct answer was Dracothian. So it wasn't just the familiarity; it actually was the correct answer. So now I'm curious to know why they were arch nemesis. So a lot of these questions were actually submitted, as I mentioned, by my Discord members. So after the Christmas one, they had so much fun. The Stormcast Kadok Kel is known as the last prince of which ancient empire? Is it Styx? Is it Edessa? Is it the Flamescar Plateau? Is it Ekron? So which of the Stormcast Kadok Kel is known as the last prince of which ancient empire? So Styx, Edessa, the Flamescar Plateau, and Ikran. And so what's fascinating is for anyone who's gotten what's it called, the Great Parch So in Actually, there's a giant map that's tied to Soulbound, the RPG game, and you can see there's a whole bunch of these places sitting in, like I know from like Odessa, for example, I believe is sitting in the middle of the Flamescar, or like just east of the Flamescar Plateau, and the Flamescar Plateau is basically right next to like Hallowheart and Tempest Eye. And if you remember 2018, 2017, during the Seasons of War, a lot of that was actually being fought around the Flamescar Plateau. So the correct answer was Ekron. And it's quite fascinating, actually, Soulbound. It's been quite enjoyable, if nothing more, picking it up to read the lore and read a lot about the Mortal Realms. So highly recommend that one. So question number 9. Owen... I'm going to call him Owen. Owen Volkar, the human gunmaster, held in service to the Smith god Grumdy, heralds from which free city? Holy crap. That's a big sentence. Owen Volkar, the human gunmaster, held in service to the Smith god Grumdy, heralds from which city? Is it Glimsforge? Is it Excelsius? Is it Brightspear? Or is it Ambleguard? Dante asking me, is there anything in particular you're hoping for from Games Workshop this year? So, good question. I mean, last year was such a 40K heavy year for us. So, what would I like? I'd like to see a lot more information about the Old World. Old World being the game that's coming. I know it's probably not till 2022, 2023, but I can't handle all these little one articles once every couple of months. So give me more info on that. I'd love to see some new expansions. I wonder if some of the armies, let's say Sylvaneth, let's say Legions of Nagash, there are some armies that definitely need some expansion, either in a battle tome or in their army, like the Kurnothi. The correct answer was Excelsius. Owain Volkar, the human gunmaster, came from Excelsius. So we've had a few stories that come out from about Excelsius. I wonder if we'll ever see some even White Dwarf rules about Excelsius, but a lot of cool stuff happening in that city. Gotrek, Gunnarson's first footsteps into the Age of Sigmar was in which mortal realm? Is it Shaiish, Shimon, Akshi, or Azir? So where did Gotrek's first footsteps take place in the mortal realms? Was it in Akshi? Is it in Azir? Is it in Shimon? Or is it Shaiish? We know Gotrek, coming from the world that was, didn't bring Felix with him. Felix is dead or gone or hiding or a Stormcast Eternal. But lots of wonderful stories in the old world about a dwarf slayer and a human. I can't remember what Felix was. Yeah, it's interesting to see some of them bringing back. I like how they've brought back some characters and they've reimagined it. Like, you know, I think I don't think the answer is always to bring back an old character. There are certainly characters from the old world that people really love, and like Sigvold, for example, is one that people just love. Yes, my man Felix, he's the Imperial. So of course he was from Altdorf. How could I forget? And Gotrek, wreck everybody and just be annoying on the table. But 500 points of value. Gotrek did step foot from Akshi, and a lot of the lore expansion has come from Akshi. The Skaven clan responsible for the slight sabotage of Nagash's Black Pyramid. Was it Clan Mordkin? Is it Clan Eshen? Is it Clan Scurvy? Or is it Clan Slick? Which of the Skaven clans we know annoyed the crap out of Nagash with the Black Pyramid? Which ones were responsible for the slight sabotage? It's fascinating when you start reading the lore about the Black Pyramid and you hear that the way that the Black Pyramid was created was they would send a skeleton. So we know that the shade glass, the sands that were used to build the Black Pyramid were on the edges of the mortal realm of Shyish. And the way they could do it without being detected by Sigmar was they used skeletons to go out to the edges of the realms and bring back 1 grain of sand to be brought into the mortal realm. So it just happened over, as you imagine, a long period of time. A lot of people saying number 2, some people saying 4. I wonder how many Skaven. Oh, Jonathan coming in with the only correct answer. The clan Slinik. And Clan Scryer blowing up the moon. Yes, Clan Scryer causing always headaches. The fungal asylum of the Loon King, Scragrot, is in which realm? So Scragrot has this asylum. They captures all of these wonderful wizards to help him capture the bad moon. Is it in Shimon? Is it in Ulgu? Is it in Gur? Is it in Shyish? Which of the 4 realms is the fungal asylum of the Loon King held? And thank you very much, Lee. That was a really good stream you did, by the way, on your channel, by the way. So thank you, Lee. Go check out Aethercast if you are enjoying. If you're a KO or you're a KO enthusiast, or you want to know how to beat KO, go hear them sharing all of their secrets. But which of the fungal asylums of the Loon? So which the fungal asylum of the Loon King is held in which of the realms? I wonder which one it is. Aethercast for the win. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Vinny. Jerome saying the asylum is in the Loon King's personal pocket realm. Quite possibly. But which of the realms? So you all said it was in Shimon, and that is correct. Oh, sorry, the correct answer was Shimon. Love me. So that's a really good book as well, by the way. If you're really interested in the Gits have some very fun and very interesting lore. If you just want to pick up, I know there was a really good book in August that came out. Who is the Lord Celestant of the Bullheart Warriors Chamber? So who is the Lord Celestant of the Bullheart Warriors Chamber? Is it Casadora, Taurus, Gardus, or Vandus? So which of these 4 is the Lord Celestant of the Bullheart Warrior Chamber? Throwing some spanners at you guys this time. Is it Casadora, Taurus, Gardus, or Vandus? I mean, we know a lot about Vandus. A lot of 2s. A couple of 3s, 1 or 2 4s coming in. Bit of a split force. Not seeing anyone think of number 1. I don't know who Casadora is. I imagine maybe it's what comets of Casadora on the Hurricanum is named after. Deep cuts. I don't know who you're talking about, Vinny. What? Who did I cut? The only thing I want to cut is a cake. But it's 8 o'clock here in Australia. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. My voice is still warming up, so maybe later today I'll cut myself up a piece of cake and get. It was Taurus, so probably sounds like a bull heart or a bull. So the name might have given that away. So Taurus was the Lord Celestant of the Bullheart Warrior Chamber. So there you go. Kate o'clock. It is Kate. It's not quite Kate o'clock. Who is the only chamber of Stormcast to have landed an actual blow upon one of the Chaos Gods? That's a good one. Was it the Hammer Hands? Is it the Imperishables? Is it the Soul Steels? Is it the Bullhearts? So who is the only chamber of Stormcast to have landed an actual blow upon one of the Chaos Gods? And I'm being corrected. Yes, I said Taurus. Yes, I mispronounced that one. My apologies, George. But it sounds like a bull. So it's my birthday. Leave me alone. Let me have this one. Just let it slide. Let that one slide. And AOS Crusader is saying he believes it is against Nurgle. So he believes that whoever we chose, it was against Nurgle. So who was the only Chamber of Stormcast to have landed a blow? Maybe someone in the chat who knows that story can validate that. I don't remember. Thanks, Alex. And thanks, George. Oh, man, I'd love to go back to Greece. Get myself some delicious halloumi, have some grappa or some ouzo. And the correct answer was the Steel Souls. So the Steel Souls were the only chamber of Stormcast to have landed a blow on the Chaos Gods. So there you go. I'd like to know. Maybe I'd like to know that story. That's an interesting one, actually. It probably was Nurgle. It certainly wasn't Slaanesh being bound up. But which of the names of Be'lakor's abilities what is the name of Be'lakor's ability in which the opponent's unit must roll a 5+ to perform its action? Is it Puppet Master, Enfeeble Foe, the Dark Master, Lord of Torment? Thanks, Jordan. Jonathan, sorry, I was looking at three things at once. Thanks, Jonathan. And it was in Plague Garden if you want to know more about the hitting the physical god. So what is the name of Be'lakor's ability in which the opponent's unit must roll a 5+? This is the Seraphon killer, or at least, putting it on Lord Croak. And thanks, Gary. That's very generous. Thank you so much. So who was what is the name of the role? For anyone who doesn't know this role, they basically have to roll every time. The Be'lakor puts a hex on a unit, or like a curse, and any time that it tries to move, cast a spell, charge, fight, shoot, there's a whole range of different things. They have to roll a dice, and on a 5, only on a 5+ can they actually do the ability. On a 1 to a 4, they cannot act in that turn. So it can be absolutely brutal. The Dark Master is the rule. Pretend it was a card. He puts a spell on you. I like to call it a hex. It's like a curse. How old am I? I'm now 37. Where was Sigmar's hammer Galmaraz found in the Realm Gate Wars? Ignore Galmaraz, should be 2 words there. But where was Sigmar's hammer Galmaraz found in the Realm Gate Wars? Was it found in the Brimstone Peninsula? Was it in the Hanging Valleys of somewhere, the All Points, or is it Bugman's Brewery? The Hanging Valley of Amentok. Where was Sigmar's hammer Galmaraz found in the Realm Gate Wars? Bugman's Brewery sounds like an easier place to find what we know. The hammer that killed Behemat. Galmaraz has done. Actually, my Galmaraz is over there. It's a bit too far away to grab on the stream. I do have my sword, my Nagasha's sword from my Warhammer Weekly stream, but my Galmaraz is over there. Bugman is where he went to celebrate after finding it. That would make perfect sense. If I had just found this magical weapon from the world that was, I would probably go at least celebrate. It is from the Hanging Valley of Amentok. Bugman's is where Gary left his dignity, so it's not in there. He went looking already. Skate, he got really drunk one day and forgot it was at the brewery. Yeah, that's a bit awkward. That's very awkward. Or a couple more questions left of this particular round, but which of these is not a name of one of the 9 Gaunt Summoners? So the Gaunt Summoners of Tzeentch. Is it Zazul? Is it... Oh, you guys can read this one. I'm done with this one. Stillskeen, Trakau, Noah, Set... 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which of these is not the name of one of the 9 Gaunt Summoners? One, two, three, four. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. Where is 2+ Doug now? This is where I need his soothing ASMR sounds to pronounce that one. Not my... Glad you don't have to type that one out to answer it correctly. So hopefully this question burns along pretty quickly. It summons Doug. So where is my summon Doug spell? Isn't Zazzle a character from in Overlords or in the Iron Dragon? I was thinking the Lion King. I was thinking Zazzle, the bird. It's that answer, that Trakau Nawar. 2+ to cast. I think I still failed it. I think I rolled Snake Eyes, and why I didn't get a Doug. Maybe that's a show in the future. We'll do a content creator jump on here or do a quiz. What is the name of the current Arch Revenant model? Is it Durthu, Duranti, Adenhu, or God, these names? Araloth. Yeah, my summon Doug spell got unbinded. So which of these is the name of the current Arch Revenant? Arch Revenant being Sylvaneth, by the way, guys. It's the one that came in the box set. It was that it's got the lovely little wings. So this is a Sylvaneth model we're talking about here. What's the name of the current Arch Revenant model? Durthu, Duranti, Adenhu, Araloth. Let the wild guesses commence. So I was looking at this actually last night, so I do know the answer to this one. It's spelt raw. Oh, okay. We might have a spelling mistake. So Deanock telling me that it might be spelt wrong. So the correct answer is number 2, but it might be incorrectly spelt slightly. Lucky there's no prizes on this one. Otherwise, I might get in trouble. But you guys, everyone who was sharp as a tack would know that was the closest. So good work, guys. Good work. Also, shout out to, where was it? Shout out to Deanock as well. Deanock, if anyone's playing Tabletop Simulator, you are probably playing on Deanock's table. So shout out to a person who just puts absolute effort and a lot of love to Tabletop Simulator. But the former High Elf God, what former High Elf God do the Idoneth Deepkin worship? There's a spelling mistake there. Is it Val? Is it Mathlan? Is it Kurnos? Is it Calador? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? Which former High Elf God do the Idoneth Deepkin worship? Worship has a H in that. I'd like to think this one could be an easy one. Maybe it's a trick question. Maybe it's a tricky one. Crazy Horse saying it's Marathi. Well, it's certainly not Teclis. I think we got another spelling mistake there. I think Mathland's a double N. But you guys will forgive me on this one. So which of the 5 former High Elf gods do they worship? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? AOS Crusaders saying that it's Aquaman. To be fair, I would worship Aquaman as well, especially when he was the person who led the Dothraki during Game of Thrones. So I would follow him into battle. Definitely follow. Should be Marathi. Everything for Vinny should be Marathi. It's second last question for this round is, what is the name of the Kurnothi archer in the Underworld's warband, Skaith's Wild Hunt? So what is the name of the archer in the Kurnothi? So what is the name of the Kurnothi archer? You guys can read that one. Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? I either think you guys think it's funny that when I try to pronounce certain things, or you either think it's annoying. But I'm going to pull in a special guest to help me here. I've got Chuck Strengthhammer Moore. Chuck, how do I pronounce those? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Shiok, Athelion, Daith, Scarlock.
Damn you. Chuck is an elven god. He big follower of Daughters of Cain, probably prince to the throne of Marathi. But 1, 2, 3, or 4. I've seen a lot of people picking 2, 3, or 4. What would you pick, Chuck? The name of the Kurnothi archer?
I think number 4. I'm actually not sure on this one.
It's an interesting one. I tell you what, I can't wait for this to be expanded. I can't wait for Kurnothi to come in. I'd love them in Sylvaneth. I'd love them to expand Sylvaneth and not make them separate. And it's almost like reversing the old Wood Elves.
Yeah, I just finished up Dark Harvest, the horror novel. And if you like Kurnothi, read that book. Or Kurnoth in general.
AOS Crusaders, where can you find AOS Coach merch? I don't really have merch, but I will probably have a merch store this year, being 2021. The light of Otharian in his former life ruled over which ancient Ulthuan
realm in the old world. I got you.
Damn elves, you came at the perfect time.
Toriavus, Caldor, Hoeth, or Nagrathe?
There you go. So what Chuck said, 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Happy birthday, by the way, Coach.
Thank you. And one of our narrative legends, Nuno, saying that was having some good choices in the last one. And I think you've convinced now Wisdomore to go read Dark Harvest.
By the way, it's number 1.
Oh. Okay, a lot of people are picking 1, seeing Martin saying he thinks it's number 3. Deanock thinks it's number 1. Gary thinks it's number 1. Arcanaut Lee, who's a dwarf. I don't know if I trust a dwarf in this one. But I've also got Crusaders with 1. Raymond's got 3. Jonathan's got 1. Nuno's going to put that on his resume now that he'll go to his next job interview saying that he's been called a legend on the internet. But Chuck was correct there with number 1. How did you know that was number 1?
From my old world obsession for high elves matches my current AOS obsession with Daughters of Cain. So
I tell you what, though, I have been reading a lot of elven lore recently since starting Daughters of Cain. So the winners of this round, Jonathan, again, this guy is a lore master, recently appointed as an administrator in my Discord. Wow. Okay, Jonathan, hats off to you. 19 out of 21. Well done to you. Followed by Jerome, followed by AOS Crusader. Then we've got Max, Travis, Scathe. You guys can see your ranking. It's a pretty good ranking. 21 questions. A lot of correct answers, and there were some hard ones. I mean, Doug said to me privately, this is a hard quiz.
Yeah, I'm still impressed just with how well this quiz is going, as far as like you running this software and the interaction. Like, kudos to that.
It's all good. Oops, I'll stop sharing screen now. Do we want to do another quiz?
I'm game to help you with another quiz. Make
Cool.
some choices.
All right, guys. We are going to start the next quiz. So I'll bring up should I just bring that tab over here? We'll start the next quiz in less than 2 minutes. So I hope everyone's doing well. If you've just joined us, hello, welcome. We're doing an Age of Sigmar quiz, 21 questions. Do I just jump? Oh, this is round 7. Ignore that. That doesn't matter. I was adding quizzes and I'm manipulating them. Gary just missed the first one. If you just missed the first half or the first one or the many different rounds, and thank you, Jay, by the way. Basically, it's a multiple choice quiz. Use the YouTube live chat to respond. It's multiple choice, 21 questions. There are 4 options. Just put in 1, 2, 3, or 4. Vincey's saying Tic-tac-toe is pretty sweet.
That is the coolest skink.
All the best YouTubers make mistakes on their screen shares. As long as they don't bring up some adult content or get banned or bring up something, we're doing all right.
You've been searching Marathi fan art. Is that what you've been doing in your?
I have been looking at Marathi stuff because, as you know, I'm working on a Marathi's display board, and when I type in "cult of pleasure," it does bring some interesting things up in my.
Yeah.
Marathi has a lot of fan art.
She does. I didn't really realize that either till recently, because I've been getting some fan art to decorate my my hobby space, and sometimes you have to scroll real quick.
I'll be in bed, like looking on my iPad, looking through like Marathi art, trying to find some inspiration. I'm like, oh, hopefully the wife doesn't look at that one. Like, what am I looking at? There's some very bizarre stuff. So shout out to Marathi art.
Yeah.
My search must be wild right now. Yes, Cult of Pleasure does bring up some things. Question number 1 from this quiz is: the Spider Fang Gits believe the bad moon is what? So is it the soul of a great warlord? Is it the giant spider egg? Is it a big squig? Or is it Gorkamorka himself? So what does the Spider Fang Gits believe the bad moon represents? And each of the Gits, when you read the battle tome, believe the bad moon is something. And they all have a belief in a story. They all don't think the same thing.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, but technically all these answers would be correct based upon which part of the Gits we're talking about, correct? Yeah,
correct. Okay. Actually, yeah, and some of them, there's some very interesting stories on what they believe. So I love that. I love that there's no one single source of truth, that the bad moon is this. It's very tribalistic, and that's when you read like the Sons of Behemoth Army. It's very like, you can imagine them telling stories around a campfire and passing stories by generation, and it's just making some wild stuff up. So Chuck, what would you have guessed?
I would go giant spider egg, just to keep with the spider theme.
Yeah. So Mr. Moore saying, burst the egg, let it rain spiders. Yeah, I thought the White Dwarf might do that, might bust those new rules. A decent White Dwarf update. It wasn't bad, but it probably wasn't as good as, say, the Squig one.
Squig egg.
Question number 2, speaking of squigs, is the squig god beast. Boingob died trying to do what? So what did the squig god beast try do? How did it die? Was it trying to fight Sigmar? Was it trying to eat Gorkamorka? Was it trying to bounce off the edge of the realm? Did it try dying eating Hish?
That's an interesting one.
I would imagine a lot of people don't know that there was a god beast for squigs.
Yeah, I don't. I'm gonna say eat Heish, because I imagine if you try to eat Gorkamorka wouldn't kill it. It would just bat it away, like, go away, you nuisance.
Skave's mind is just blown, not realizing that there was a god beast. Nino thinks it's number 2, eat Gorkamorka. That would be an interesting challenge. I imagine if he tried to fight Sigmar, we'd probably hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that Sigmar does, we like to hear. We all get to hear about it. So I imagine.
Yeah. Well, Sigmar complains enough about it, and then he opens a chamber because of whatever toe he stubbed today. So.
Tell you what, though, if he unlocked a squig chamber, I'd be down for that. I would get myself a Stormcast army. And the correct answer is he did try to eat Hish. So
lucky guess, yeah, for me.
You're just corrupted by elves. But that one caught a lot of people off guard. I'd be curious to know why they thought they want to fight Gorkamorka. Why would you fight Gorkamorka? Which of these is not a name for the Age of Sigmar dual army box? So those boxes that came in that come with 2 armies, like Shadow and Pain, Feast of Bones, Alliance is spelt wrong, please forgive me, Alliance of Wood and Sea, Blight Wars. So which of these 4 were not an army box, a dual army box that came out during Age of Sigmar? So Feast of Bone, Alliance of Wood and Sea, Shadow and Pain, Blight War.
I'm really happy that they're doing these dual boxes so regularly, as opposed to just, as an edition releases. It's spreading the love around quite a bit.
I dig them. The only thing I worry about with ones like just as long as they don't hide too many rules behind these boxes, and then really screw up people with who already have a collecting box. Chuck, what would you have chosen here?
Definitely Alliance of Wood and Sea.
Why do you say that?
There's been no fish elves fighting Sylvaneth.
But that is a battalion. So, Vinny trying to get me on a technicality. That could be called Sultan Branch. There you go, Games Workshop marketing. The next box has been done for you. The correct answer is the Alliance of Wood and Sea. That is actually a battalion, or it's similar. No, there is an Alliance of Wood and I think it's Wood and Sea. It's
I believe so.
Yeah. The Alliance of Seaweed and Leaves. Short-lived battalion. Which of the 4 aspects of Hish is worshipped by the Lumineth? So is it river, mountain, sky, and zenith? Earth, fire, wind, water, and wind. Zenith, sky, water, and fire. Hish, Ulgu, Shaiish, and Ulguhish.
Okay.
Which of the 4 aspects of Haish are worshipped by the Lumineth?
Oh man, I gotta give people time before we give this one away. Since I just played Lumineth yesterday, I know the answer perfectly.
Well, for anyone who joined us in the last round, the quiz round, we did talk a little bit about the aspects. I'm not going to talk about which ones they were. Let's see how people's memories are. So, Chuck, we are calculating now. What are they?
River, mountain, sky, and zenith.
So I would have gone number 2, but it's mostly because of Captain Planet. And I purposely left off Heart there because no one treats Heart seriously in Captain Planet. Paul Marty.
Now it's all about Avatar: Last Airbender for Earth, Wind, Fire, and Water.
Well, Matt's saying it was a great band as well.
That too. Yep.
It's a pretty sweet 70s band. But yes, River, Mountain, Sky, Zenith. Which of these 4 aspects do you like and most excited about on the tabletop?
I know. I'm curious to see what Zenith is, because that's the I guess the heavenly, the highest tier. Like, what's that going to be?
Like light. Your models come pre-Zenith or highlighted. What was the name? What was the Knight Incantor Arnholt's name before he came a Stormcast Eternal? So what was the name of the Knight Incantors before he became Stormcast Eternal? Was it Volkard, Kaza, Sarbolt?
And Pentheus?
Penthouse.
That's weird because 9 times out of 10, it seems the Stormcast name just like changes a vowel or two from the human name. So I have no idea what story this is from, or is this out of Battletome? Wow, this is a stumper.
It's a lovely novel too. AOS Crusaders. Which novel is that from? Great channel, by the way. Go check out AOS Crusaders. It's all. I've got all my quiz shows. Bring all the boys to the yard. It looks like all the content creators are here. So what would you have guessed? What was your guess here?
I'll guess Karza, but that's a just complete guess.
Nino letting us know that he thinks it's the Penthouse, Knight Incantor Penthouse. And AOS Crusaders telling us it was in the Book of Sacrosanct and Other Stories. I do remember that was like a little book of short stories, which was kind of cool.
Nice.
Deanoch had no idea, but he rolled a D4.
Rolled a D4.
As long as you don't step on a D4, that's the worst. Like people talk about Lego, standing on Lego. Wait till you stand on a D4. What is the proper name for the Banshee known as the Silver Maiden? Is it Clemenus?
Cloystra?
Khalida,
or Yvraine?
Yeah, Yvraine.
Well, I know 2 that it's not. And I should remember this, man. And this has only been 5 years.
It's been a long time. The Banshee known as the Silver Maiden. I'd like to see more stuff with Banshees. I'd love to see. Like, they're such a cool little. I don't know. I like it. All right, Vinny's put his stake in the ground. It's 100%. Will other people follow his lead?
I'm going to say it's Kalemnis. Because Kalita is Tomb Kings, if I remember. Yvrain is 40k, because I'm going to be starting that army with her in it sometime this year.
Well, Libnan's saying it was a process of elimination. Okay, let's see. We'll find out in a second. By the way, as I mentioned, a lot of these questions to help me fast track this quiz show after the Christmas one was all submitted by the Discord. So thank you all for my Discord people. If you want to join Discord, link is below. Pretty cool little community we got there. Like over 1,000 people. And Vinny from Hakura is lying. Colostra. Thasgar Stink Mullet is a fungoid cave shaman who is famous for a whiff of his feet put Slaanesh in a coma, ate a bunch of mushrooms and predicted the necroquake, led an incursion of grots into the now fallen city of Phoenix Spire, or ate the Lord Celestin's former mount. So which Skazgar Stink Mullet is a fungoid cave shaman? What was he famous for? Man, imagine putting Slaanesh in a coma.
Yeah, you'd have to be so excessive at that point.
That's probably how the elves caught Slaanesh.
Oh yeah.
Stink Mullet's stinky feet.
Throw them up.
We need more names like Stink Mullet.
Oh, that's a good name.
As long as you don't bring back the mullet, I'll be okay. And absolutely, Wistbor, best AOS server in the world. Shout out to my peeps and my homies. Scathe saying sometimes I read these answers and
yeah.
So what was your guess, Chuck?
Number 2, but man, you know what? Nah, I want it to be number 1 so bad that I'm just gonna say number 1, even though it's probably incorrect.
Matt Barker had also predicted the necroquake last time he ate some mushrooms, and that was the correct answer. So
there you go.
That would have been helpful for the Gits. That's probably why we saw them emerge at the time that they emerged. But ate a bunch of mushrooms and predicted the necroquake. Just had to watch some Simpsons. I'm sure it was predicted there too.
Probably.
What did Sigmar do that unleashed the Flesh Eater Courts upon the realms? Did he leave the fight? Leave the fight of chaos? Did he march an army onto Shaiish? Did he close the realm gate? Or did he purge the purge of his people for purity? There's a lot of P's there. What did Sigmar do to unleash the Flesh Eater Courts upon the realm? Leave the fight of chaos, march the army onto Shaiish, close the realm gates, and purge the people for purity.
I like this question a lot. There's a lot of possibilities. Like, was it this one, or did that cause this thing to happen with Sigmar? I think it's number 4 myself.
A lot of people are saying number 2. Why would you say number 4? What was your thinking there?
Closing the gates didn't mean people stop following him. They went to chaos more. Leaving the fight of chaos means people died. I could see marching on Shaiish, but it seemed too obvious. That's why I went with number 4. That maybe he purged too hard and people had to find other gods and accidentally found Nagash through cannibalism. So
the correct answer was 3. A bit of a trick question there. And for anyone who joined the last one would know we kind of talked a little bit about this. Basically, Sigmar and his peeps opened, or Nagash had imprisoned the Mortarch. Is it Ubarash? Anyway, Flesh Eater Court, speaking of that, the Carrion King, there he is. His name's right there. What is the last name or the surname of the Flesh Eater Court's Carrion King? Is it the Dauntless, the Ruthless, the Handsome, the Brave?
I mean, why can't it be all 4? He can't have all these titles. I bet he's probably got all 4.
So, is the Flesh Eater Court's Carrion King Ushoran? Last name, is it Ushoran the Dauntless, Ushoran the Ruthless, the Handsome, or the Brave? I'm sure he's very handsome. I'm sure, like being a Bretonnian knight, I'm sure he's lovely, lovely golden locks.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's probably why Nagash took him. He was so handsome. Said, "No, Slanesh isn't getting you. You're mine."
That was Sigvold before Sigvold. So what was your guess? Were you thinking it was handsome?
I'm thinking handsome, actually. All seriousness.
All right. Well, I'm seeing a lot of 1s, 2s, and 3s. Mostly 1s and 3s. Seeing some interesting choices. I tell you what, though, this is one model. Like, someone asked me what I'd like to see in Age of Sigmar. This is one model I would like to see. I'd love to see a named Carrion King. I'd love to see the Carrion King. It was handsome. It indeed was handsome. But that is one model I would love to see. Some type of Mortarch, some type of Carrion King for the Flesh Eater Courts. Give me some pretty sweet named hero.
Well, now just take the Sigvold model and you can make your own.
There you go. There you go. Which of these Sylvaneth heroes is not unique? So more than one can be taken. Is it Alariel? Is it Drycha? Is it Spirit of Durthu? Is it that one?
Sorry.
Yuthari, yeah.
We'll get you. Don't worry. You'll be pronouncing these elven names like nothing soon.
I mean, pronouncing my Germanic Empire-y cities, people. Which of these Sylvaneth heroes is not unique? 1, 2, 3, or 4. I remember when I learnt this for the first time, it blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh. And then it kind of like, as I thought about it, I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's you do the first read of the book, and you're like, okay. Then you read the second, and you go, oh, okay, all right. But yeah,
Nino, that would make me so happy if a Carrion King was a plot in Broken Realms. That would, I'd lose my mind.
And I can't wait for the next Broken Realms. I need that story to continue for me.
What do you think it is?
Spirit of Durthu is my answer for this question.
Okay, and what do you think the Broken Realms one is going to be about?
I don't know, because it's do we continue where we just left off, or do we jump somewhere else? And like, because I'm thinking end times where it branched everywhere and coalesced back near the end.
Correct answer was number 3. It was Spirit of Durthu, because it's not Durthu. It is the Spirit of Durthu. And so Durthu was a named hero, a legend of the Wood Elves in the world that was. And this is not Durthu. It is the Spirit of Durthu. And because it's a spirit, it's not a named character, so it can take an artifact as well. Mm. Which creature accompanies a branch witch into battle? Is it the Zephyr Spite, the Bitter Grub, the Glade Worm, the Quiverling?
Good names. All good names.
All pronounceable to this Australian at 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh, sorry, it's just turning on to 9 o'clock. But what creature accompanies the Branch Witch into battle? I'd be happy for all 4 of them. I love all 4 of these names, actually.
Yeah. And I know 3 of them, but there's one that I don't know where it's from. But 3 of them I know are from the Sylvaneth. Actually are possible answers as creatures that accompany certain units.
I mean, on a technicality, there's at least one of them that you could would not be wrong. What was your guess?
I believe it's the Zephyr Spite for the Branch Witch.
D-Knock, I don't know the centipede thingy.
That's a new name.
So we know the Glade Worm is an endless spell. I would have, if I was playing this game, I would have probably gone the Zephyr Spite.
The Quiverling is for the Kurnoth archers.
But I do love the name of the Bitter Grub. The Bitter Grub is just an awesome name. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the birthday love. It's been awesome hanging out with you guys just for a couple of hours. My wife is working. I decided I'm not going back to work on my first day on my birthday, so I took an extra day off. I got forced to take annual leave. The steed of the apocalypse, Archeon's 3-headed mount, is called Doagar, Cerebus, Scarbrand, or Shalaxi. So what is that demonic mount, that big 3-headed mount? What is its name?
And we could call it Workhorse because it's the reason why in every story Archeon wins the battle, apparently. Like, I want to see Archeon just be Archeon. I know he can from reading the old world stuff, but stop giving the limelight to his steed.
Well, we know we all know that mounts do more damage than the mount always does more damage than the rider. AOS Crusader saying that it needs a Slanesh head. Even with a horse, does more damage than the person on top.
Actually, my friend Sean McAfee, Brush for Hire, he did an Archeon, and he took an extra Keeper Secrets claw that I had, and he used it on one of the tails, and it blends in perfectly and gives the Slanesh representation. So if you're looking to do conversion,
I have seen some Slanesh stuff. I couldn't trick anyone with that one. I thought someone for lols might say Scarbrand. Even Shalaxi being the named Keeper of Secrets, Scarbrand being Demon of Corn, Cerebus being the dog of the Hellgate, the Gates of Hell. Mm-hmm. What does Cetra not do? Dance, kneel, fight, or swear? What does Cetra not do?
I mean, I've never seen him do two of these things. I can't remember if he's done one of the other ones.
What does Cetra not do? Dance, kneel, fight, or swear? Being told Cetra doesn't surf either.
I guess. That's not. He clearly dances.
Crazy Doll's telling me that Cetra is the Samuel L. Jackson of the Mortal Realms. If I didn't want to get demonetized, I would just drop a whole bunch of Samuel L. Jackson stuff. What doesn't Cetra do? Who's Cetra, Chuck? And what does Cetra not do?
He is the truest leader of the Tomb Kings and should be the true god of undeath. It's like the usurper Nagash, but he does not kneel.
And by the way, Denock trying to trigger the internet by telling us that Cetra does not see the table in AOS. Oh! So Cetra being the former leader of the Tomb Kings, when Warhammer Fantasy Battles moved into Age of Sigmar, folks, there were some pretty crazy rules, and one of the rules out there on the War Scroll was that if you had Cetra in your army and you knelt, you automatically lost the game because Cetra does not kneel.
Yep. Good old Wild West.
There's some pretty funny ones, like things like if you had a moustache, you got some cool things. But what title was used to refer to Kurdos Valentine? No, Valentian? Yeah. Is it the Night King, the Ethereal Nightmare, the Craven King, that spooky ghost?
That spooky ghost.
What title is used to refer to Kurdos? So Kurdos being Nighthaunt.
And he's the one in the floating chair, correct?
Yes.
Remember correctly?
Yes. It's the one that's not Alinda.
Okay.
You don't see Kurdos in the game much.
No. I mean, if I was doing that, I'd rather just take Oleander too, because she's the cooler model in my mind.
So, Chuck, what is the title for Kurdos?
Oh, he's the Craven King, as far as my knowledge is saying.
Looks like I couldn't catch anyone out. You know, I've got Wistamore at 3. I've got Arcanaut Lee at 3. Gary's at 3. Ken's at 3. Travis at 3. Who else have we got?
Dudes.
Craven, those CP, yes, because the Craven King can steal your CP. I think the Craven King might have stole the light from your basement as well.
Yeah. Well, I have a very poor camera, so the balance is trying to get better.
You're such a handsome man. You're such a handsome man. We can't not have you on screen. We are well over halfway, guys. 15 out of 21. What does the heads of Kairos Fate Weaver do? Well, what does it see? Does the head see the past and the present and the future, the present and the future, or the present but twice? So two versions of the future, the present. What do the heads of Kairos Fate Weaver, the named Lord of Change in Zetch? Does it see the past and future, present and future, two versions of the present?
Having taken Techless against Kairos yesterday, I can say that pretty sure he does not see the present all that well.
Well, in the olden days, when you could, his dice roll could manipulate the priority roll. I would tend to disagree there.
I would. Yep, I believe that.
What do you think the heads of Kairos Fate Weaver Siege?
The past and the future.
The past and the future. If you saw the present twice, what would you see? Is it like just a chameleon? You can see like 360, or
do you see the like that random choice? Like, do I put on my shoes or do I put on these shoes? And you see what happens at that split. Every time there's a split, you just keep seeing that.
It looks like most people were correct. It is the past and the future. So interesting that he can't see the present. So he sees an alternate reality. Crazy Horse says, I like it. Sees an alternate reality where he had better destiny dice. That's another spell. Which familiar, excuse my spelling mistake, which familiar title is often given to Nurgle by his mortal worshippers? Big Daddy, Gardener, Plague One, Grandfather. Is it?
How come is the dude not a choice? What's going on here?
Big Daddy. So which familiar title is often given to Nurgle by his mortal worshippers? Big Daddy, Gardener, Plague One, Grandfather. I guess all four, probably. Yeah, as Vinny just said, probably all of the above.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, you'd have to be really close to get away with Big Daddy, I believe. But I'm sure there's one or two demons that could do that.
I'm sure someone out there is calling him Big Daddy. Nurgle is life. What was your guess?
Oh, he's Grandfather Nurgle.
He's the grandfather. Although to be fair, he does like doing his gardening in Gairan. I'm sure someone out there is calling him Big Daddy. I don't know if I'd call him the Plagued One to his face.
Big Daddy Plagued One. Maybe combine them.
Oh, I'm being told that it's not a spelling mistake. That it's actually. So I didn't write this question, but there you go, Jonathan, giving me a linguistical lesson. Thank you. I thought I left English in high school, but here we are. Oh, Lariel is calling him Big Daddy. Well, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I've seen that in any books. 17 to 21. So which realm did Kurgis Kull almost conquer before the Age of Sigmar commenced? That's Khorne. That's the hero in the very first battle box we got. Is it Akshi, the realm of fire, Shaiish, the realm of death, Shimon, the realm of metal, or Azia, the realm of heavens? So which realm did Kurgis Kull almost conquer before the Age of Sigmar commenced?
Number 5, the realm of my heart.
Oh, Kurgis Kull. I think they've kind of like left some money on the table with that model. Came out at the start. Like, I feel like it should be more on the table.
Yeah, I mean, his rules aren't bad either. I mean, he has that reality splitting axe, but I don't know, I could see him doing a comeback and like a new model.
I tell you what,
once again, that'd be pretty neat to see.
I can't wait to see Khorne get a new battle tome, or at least an update in Broken Realms. We did get a cool story this week between Slaanesh and Khorne with Broken Realms. What was your answer, Chuck? What did you think?
Actually, the realm of fire.
Why is that?
Because I've been reading the AOS lore since it dropped. And that's ingrained in my head.
That is true. And anyone that reads, again, Soulbound, for example, you would know how much damage Khorne did to Akshi, and being a primary one of the main protagonist in Akshi. So it indeed was the realm of fire, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. I think he still has a part of the peninsula named after him.
Yeah, he does. In the War of Life, Alarielle, with her Sylvaneth and her Wanderers, fought against Nurgle, Stormcast, Nagash, or Morathi. So in the War of Life, Alarielle with her Sylvaneth and the Wanderers, who do they fight against?
I mean, really, they'll fight against whatever Alarielle points at, but
specifically in the War of Life.
In the War of Life. Well, I mean, I could see two answers here, because there's a few skirmish battles that could play towards another answer here. Her emotions.
Crazy Horse saying that it was her emotions. I don't know if that's correct. Dante saying number 1. Matt saying 1.
I believe 1 is the correct answer, although the Sylvaneth were bumping heads with the Stormcast initially, pretty early on.
So in the, I guess when Gairan has a lot of fighting and Alariel is always fighting with Nurgle, I guess Alariel doesn't appreciate the plants that Nurgle are, I guess, planting in the forests. Dante telling me that he knew the answer because of 2 plus tough. It was indeed Nurgle, though you could probably argue, you could probably see Marathi. I don't know, maybe Marathi did want to set up something in Gairon. I'm sure Stormcast pissed her off at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't wait to see like super raged Mother Earth Alariel.
Mm-hmm.
The Great Sky War is fought between Kharadron overlords and Maggotkin of Nurgle, Disciples of Zench, Gitmot Grot, and the Night Haunt.
It could be the Grots on their squigs bouncing very high into the air to attack.
So that's actually not the Git Mob. So the Git Mob are I don't know if you remember the old there was an old bunch of goblins that had like the catapults, and they had the the Wolf Riders. They're the Git Mob, and in the lore, they're a bit of like a techie, and they have actually been able to repurpose flying machines like the Kharadron. So there is speculation that sometime in the future, maybe we'll see Sky Goblins.
Sky Goblins will be exciting.
So what would your guess have been? The Great Sky War, and there was a battle box that could allude to the answer.
Yep. That box is what's leading me towards choosing Disciples of Zinch.
So the chat generally, when are we getting Gitmob? I mean, who knows? When are we getting Kurnothi? But we did see the new sculpt of the what's it called? We had the Underworld's Warband, which had those Goblin Wolf Riders.
Mm-hmm.
Doom Divers, they would certainly Gitmob model, so they were like a Goblin Tinker. So, and as Nuno said, revamp Gitmob would be nice. I would love those squig balloon airships and things like that. So, second last question: the Tower of Prios, built by Teclis out of Hish's Realm Stone, used to purify beams of lessen the effects of what in the realm of Hish? So, what are we trying to lessen the effects of? Chaos, the Warg, the Necroquake, or Warp Fire? The Tower of Prios, built by Teclis in the from the Hish Realm Stone. What are we trying to lessen the effects of?
I'm curious if is it like just purifying, or is it like just a pure beam of energy it shoots out to negate the effect of the correct answer here? I wonder how that worked.
I don't know, but we kind of saw a lot of the original art for the Lumineth Realm Lords had a lot of like purifying lights and had a lot of like temples and prisms that we haven't really quite seen yet. Mm-hmm. I know we've got an endless spell in the shape of a prism,
right?
But we haven't really seen that just yet. Oh, where was that? I'm going to pull up Nuno's comment here. You can't listen the one. Come on.
That's true. That's true.
Well, Crazy Horse throwing shade, saying being a loser at everything. Ouch. Ouch.
Ooh, no, Teclis is not the Village Idiot. That's a different show, though. So
that's a different show. Poor Teclis. Earth, Fire, Wind, and the Tower of Power. The Tower of Power. Teclis swinging his beam around. Oh, you guys are on fire. His chat, his ego. Love this. All right. Last question of the round, and then we have one final round should you guys want to hang around and play. And in the end times, Nagash created Mortarks to replace his most trustworthy servants of the days of old. So did he create 5, 9, 7, or 11 Mortarks?
I have no idea. Absolutely zero clue. Can we go back to the elf questions where I have a shot at these? I'll guess 7. Maybe I'll switch my way.
His old trustworthy servants were called the Lords of, was that the Lords of Death, or the Death Lords, or the Lords of Death. I'm sure someone in the chat will give me this one. But then basically that was like the olden days of Warhammer Fantasy. So then he created Mortarks to replace those in the end times. And now some of those Mortarks have jumped over to Age of Sigmar. And it doesn't necessarily mean this number is the number that will come in Age of Sigmar. It could be more, could be less. We know that we've got Manfred, Arcan, Neferata, we've got Alinda, and we've got Special K. So we've got 5 that we know. What's your number, Chuck?
I'm going to guess 7. But pure guess.
It is 9.
Okay.
And anyone who knows Nagash would also know he has 9 books. The 9 books of Nagash. So number 9 is the number for Nagash.
You think he'd be done reading those books by now, but...
Well, he's just floating around him, I think. So who won? So the correct answer, the Harkuron man himself, Vinny, coming in with 20 questions out of 21. So kudos to you, Vinny. Khalil coming in second, and Argonaut Lee tied at 18. We had Denock at 17 with Max, Gary, Ken, all coming in at 17. Crazy Horse with 16, Dante 16.
Yeah.
That was nice. A bit harder.
That was a hard quiz.
Are we up for one more?
It's your birthday. I'm just here for the ride.
Alrighty. We'll do one more. So we talked a lot of Grots. We talked a lot about Lumineth. I'll ask you the question that chat asked me. What are you hoping for this year in Age of Sigmar?
Boy, I don't know. That's a hard question just because of the fact that like I'm doing like a mixed Dwarden army. Like I kind of have everything I want right now, and it feels like I'm just waiting for more elves. But I also think wishing for more elves right now is kind of greedy. We have lots of elves.
I really want to see death and destruction expanded more.
I would like to see destruction take a more central role. Like we had chaos, we just had death. I wouldn't mind destruction maybe becoming the main antagonist. How would Sigmar contain nature itself?
Yeah,
like not just dealing with like Nagash or like this chaos god. Like how do you tame a tornado? Like how would Sigmar handle that? So I think that would be interesting to see. Maybe as the Broken Realms progress, that we get something more destruction-y.
Yeah, like I'd love to see Gordrak really step up into that. I want to see Gordrak as powerful as Archeon, like Marathi. I want to see him supercharged because he is the Fist of Gork and the representative of Gork and Walker. We'll probably never get Gork and Walker on the table, so supercharged Gordrak.
Do you think we'll see another city fall? Since like it's hinting at with him taking on Celsius?
Yeah. But at the same time, like Celsius is not really played, so it falling probably isn't as hard as falling, let's say, Anvilgard. I'd love to see it. Question number 1. That's not right. That's not right at all. We've already done that question.
Do not look at the man behind the curtain.
We've already done that one. I thought you'd done that one. Whoops. Let's just do this one for lols. All right. There's no more quiz. I thought I had 3. It's telling me I've done 2. Hold up. That's awkward. I had a 3rd quiz. No. Okay. No. You've already done that one, guys. All right. I'm going to redo. All right, I promised one quiz, so let's do the first quiz that I did at Christmas. So if you missed Christmas quiz, I'm replaying this one because I'm quickly just trying to get it back. Where's my last quiz? I had 3 quizzes prepared.
We should do we should figure out like an end times quiz for your audience.
Well, AOS Shorts has just picked up the whole. We just saw him pick up all the books, so I'll just ask him as he's going. Just give me quiz questions. But I think
If you-
destruction and death for me would be just boost them up a little bit, so we've got a stronger representative on the table.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like destruction, though, it's like, is it like a bigger beast? Do they get a god beast level creature on the board? I mean, I'm not sure, or is it just Gordrak just becomes like a god, just like Marathi? I mean, any of that's cool. Like destruction is just fun. Like whatever they decide to do, we get to watch a Wa just run through the board. So
I do like this question from Alex asking, do you think that the Living City will go to war with Greywater?
I could see that definitely in the lore. I mean, the Sylvaneth hate Greywater fastness, and actually back to the Dark Harvest book I just read, like that's kind of hinted at quite a bit. I mean, the Sylvaneth, even though there's a truce, they're throwing rocks and attacking every once in a while. Greywater fastness, they don't like it.
They're destroying the lands around them. They're poisoning the water. They're clogging up the air. I could truly see that.
Yeah, I think that'd be neat. Nice little. I wouldn't even call it a civil war, because Living City definitely, they worship Ilario more than Sigmar, I bet.
Let's go. Question number 1. Which Ogre Moor Tribes leader allows you to set them and a unit of Frost Sabers in reserve as ambush? So is it a Tyrant? Is it a Butcher? Is it an Icebrow Hunter? Or is it a Firebelly that allows you to set up them and a unit of Frost Sabers in reserve for ambush? So anyone who played the Christmas trivia, hopefully you remember some of these answers. Let's see how good your memory is. It's my third quiz. Maybe I built it on a different screen and I'm just like...
Maybe. Or maybe it's because you accidentally skipped ahead that it dropped it out somehow.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Chuck, what were you thinking?
Oh, Icebrow Hunter. I have a decent amount of players in the area that run the Icebrow Hunter whenever they bring out their ogres. So definitely they bring out the older models, but yep.
And Alex saying as well that there is also a higher up in the Greywater that's an Agent of Tzeentch. Speaking of Agents of Tzeentch, I loved the Cities of Secrets book. Hopefully it's not a question in here, but that was such a fascinating story about the corruption of one of the cities with Tzeentch cult. So the Icebrow Hunter was the winner of that one. So good work there. Who was the first Stormcast Eternal to return to the mortal realms? Was it Horus, Tyrus, Vandus, or I'm just going to call him Adrian, Adricus, Adric. All right, which of these 4? Which one of these was the first Stormcast Eternal? So this one's an easy one. I remember this one being easy. So we'll end the stream on a high. Most people might get above 15. The chat is smashing 3. Chuck, what do you think it is?
Oh, it's 3. Good old Vandus. Just like Korgus Cool, that old kind of like, I'd like to have a pure Vandus Hammerhand model that's different from what they gave us.
We did see, or at least we did see a lot of Vandus on the table before.
Yeah, I mean, he seems so great in the story, and then as they open more chambers, it's like, oh well, here's a Star Drake. Why isn't Vandus on a Star Drake?
That's a good point. It's
like, I think you could do it.
I couldn't trick you guys with that one. So the correct answer was 3. It is indeed Vandus Hammerhand. So couldn't catch you that one.
Next time you do this, if you ever have to redo an older quiz, do the opposite. So whoever gets the most wrong.
I like it. Oh, I think this one's wrong. Oh no, I think I fixed this one. What is the range of the Bloodsecrator's loathsome sorcery? So is it 8, 16, 12, or 20? I think when I first ran this one, I had it wrong. I think I had it as, I can't say what I revealed the wrong answer. But I think I had this one wrong. But is the range of the Blood Secretors Loathsome Sorcery? Let's see if I learnt my lesson. Is it 8, 16, 12, or 20?
I think I got this wrong the first time through. I want to say it's 20.
All right. So I'm pretty sure from memory it's 16. And I accidentally last time had that as 18. And I'm pretty sure I updated it. So you can see how... Arcanaut League, there was a couple of, I had 5 rounds of quizzes and I had about 5 questions wrong in total, but it's always the ones they remember that's wrong, not the 100 questions that I've written that were right. And the correct answer was 16. So I did fix it. I remember immediately fixing all my wrong. The worst one was the flame phoenix. I had that wrong, the regeneration. And being a cities player, I got smashed.
Well, I mean, that's an elf army. It's not a cities army.
The Beastclaw Raiders are nomadic tribesmen on the run from the Everwind, the Everwarmth, the Everwinter, or the Everglow. What are the Beastclaw Raiders running away from?
Just see these giant behemoth of creatures who are eating hundreds of thousands of calories a day, probably running from the Everwarmth just because they don't like getting sweaty.
It's like the English people in Australia. So it's like, oh, it's too warm, and it's only like 20 degrees. The sun starts coming out, and they just like run away. Chuck, what is it?
Oh, it is the Everwinter. Oncoming cold. Winter is coming.
Ogres do not run. They do if they're hungry. But I remember when there used to be rules back in the old days when Beastclaw Raiders had their own book. There wasn't an ogre combined book. They had like environmental or season rules where turn 1 meant something, turn 2 meant something, turn 3 meant something. So, all right, this one was an easy one. I'm priming you guys up to be all winners. You're all winners on this stream, literally. The Everwarmth is really good. Yeah, I'm down for that one. Cool. How much rend does Archaon's Sword, the Slayer of Kings, have? Is it rend 0, rend -2, rend -1, rend -3? This is the Slayer of Kings, but as we know, kings are not the best warriors. They're usually little fat, squishy dudes. So
easy to kill.
You could probably have like a rend +5, and Archaon would probably still kill it.
Well, I mean, Dorgar would kill it in the story.
Well, that's true. A Dogar would probably kill it. Archaon just sits back and just like Netflix and chills on the top of that mount.
Mm-hmm. He swings his sword around to make it look good, but occasionally he nicks somebody's arm and gets through. But yeah.
What's the answer, Chuck?
Is it -2?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I actually been a while since I faced him on the table. So
it used to be rend -1, and it used to be the joke of Age of Sigmar 1.0. It's just like, lol, Slayer of Kings, rend 1. But if you roll a double on that wound roll, it was an auto slain. And you could bring that down to a 4+, which used to be brutal. So you'd laugh at the rend, but you could actually just slay someone with a double 4. Random things that I remember from AOS 1. Crazy times. Yeah, lots of people know, they knew that one. Vinny thinks it's rend -7. That wasn't an answer, mate. What is the hit and wound characteristic of prosecutors with Sigmarite hammers when they shoot? So is they hit on 4s, wound on 4s, hit on 3s, wound on 4s, hit on 4s, wound on 3s, hit on 3s, wound on 3s. So prosecutors with their hammers, when they are shooting, what do they hit and wound on?
Man, I forgot how classic all these questions were on this original quiz.
Yeah, this original one, I went back old school. So
I think it's number 3. 4s to hit, 3s to wound.
I tell you what, with Broken Realms Marathi coming back and the Shadowhammer Compact Battalion being quite good, I'm actually starting to see prosecutors come back on the table.
Oh, that's good to see.
Because you have to.
Yeah, I thought about trying to give that a run myself. I have so many prosecutors and nothing to do with them.
Well, you don't see them on the table very often, but you are starting to see them come back now a little bit with Broken Realms Marathi. So Shadowhammer Compact with what's it called, Calibron, quite cheeky.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll give that a go my next game.
Shooting a big block of snakes in the hero phase and a shooting phase. What's the damage characteristic of the Spirit of Durthu's Guardian Sword when at half strength? Is it 6, D3, D6, or 1? What is the damage characteristic of the Spirit of Durthu's Guardian Sword when at half strength? So Durthu has 12 wounds.
I believe you're right. I don't believe he... What is it? I'm gonna throw my guess behind D6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you right now, his flat damage, it starts at the top at 6. It starts at 6. But how bad does he degrade? Lots of 2s, lots of 3s, a 1. Sometimes Durthu just does nothing. I swear Durthu is also known on the table as Derpthu. Do you remember the old Lawmaster? Do you remember the old Lawmaster that allowed one model to reroll hits and wounds?
Oh yeah, that guy was in every order army you could get him in.
Oh yeah, making Durthu so consistent, but it is D6, so and then it degrades pretty quickly from there to a D3 and then a 1.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he needs to be more powerful in an updated Silver Death book, like.
It would come down to what Ilariel can do, because he also can take wounds for Ilariel. So, you don't want to have that Death Star type scenario.
What is the core of the world that was, for which Sigmarite is mined? So, is it Octron, Durham, Malice, or Feminine?
I can say I want a story about the humans, I assume, who are mining the core of the old world. What does that look like? Is there settlement there? Is there like a small city there? Are they transported back and forth like a moon sort of thing? I want to know what's going on to get this stuff.
Well, if you were a Dwarden player, you'd be screaming at me to bring back the old miner models. And maybe the miners are the ones that get the Durham or the Octron or the Malice. A lot of people thinking it's number 3. Lots of 3s coming out here. Vinny, Crusader, Skay thinking it might be number 1. Mackie might be thinking it's a 3. Denoc 3. Old Worldium. I don't know. I don't remember that one. But it's Malice. It is indeed Malice. So. Yeah, maybe we bring in the old miner models. I think they'd be pretty sweet, right? Like,
oh yeah, just pop up out of nowhere. That'd be huge.
The old miners. So we're talking a lot about Mortarks, but which one of these is not one of Nagash's Mortarks? Is it the Mortark of Sacrament, the Mortark of Pain, the Mortark of Grief, or the Mortark of Night? So all of the Mortarks have a thing, which is not one of the Mortarks: Sacrament, Pain, Grief, or Night.
I believe I got this wrong last time, and I still don't recall the correct answer. There isn't a Mortark of
Marathi?
A foot rubs yet.
So what would your guess be, knowing that you think you got it wrong last time?
I want to say Sacrament.
You're still wrong.
I'm still wrong. Okay.
Sacrament is Arcan's Mortark. He is the Mortark of Sacrament. Neferata is the Mortark of Blood. Manfred is the Mortark of Night. Alinda is the Mortark of Grief. And Special K is not the Mortark of Pain. So I think last time I'll use the same joke as I used last time, and that is Catacross is the Mortark of taxes and bone collecting and accounting. always telling you to pay your taxes and stuff. What is the name of the Lord Magnet of Barak Nar? So if Lee's still in the chat, he'll get this one. But is it Durak Coghammer? Is it Olgrim Gunstock? Is it Brock Granson? Or is it Grim Sternbrock? I need a drink of water.
These are all wonderful, wonderful dwarven names. Are they all actual characters from stories? Do you know?
I may have used a dwarf name generator, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, like
I think some of them are real.
Olgrim Grunstock. I like that name. That's a good name. But
shout out to Lee. Thank you for holding your response.
There you
go. So Lee picked, and if Lee got this one wrong, I think I'd have to cry. It is the man with the top hat.
Brock Grugson.
I love that guy. He's wearing a top hat. Yeah. He's got a monocle.
and mustache guns.
He's got a mustache. Oh, how good. Oh, I'd love to see him on the table more. He's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
But as we know, he costs too many points. Yeah, and he doesn't synergize very well. He only synergizes in the city. Oh, Duck saying Cetra is the Mortark of pain. That's okay. True. Like Tomb King's players 5 years on are still hurting. They're still hurting. Who will be triumphant? Is it only the innocent, only the strong, only the fearless, or only the faithful? Who will be triumphant, Chuck?
It's got to be only the strong, because you got to lift to be strong, and if the stronger you are, the easier it is to win. I mean, right?
I mean, like the Mortal Realms is full of strength contests.
I mean, absolutely. It's nonstop, day in, day out. Although it is clearly only the faithful. That is the return cry.
I wonder if that'll ever be like the Warg. You go to a tournament and sometimes an Orc player will Warg. I'm waiting for a Stormcast player to yell in the middle of a tournament, only the faithful.
His audiobook keeps yelling at me. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, if you ever listen to an Age of Sigmar audiobook with Stormcast, they always yell that. And there's Anthony saying, only the strong survive, only the wise excel. Oh, get that tattooed on you. Mm-hmm. I'll tattoo that on my lower back. That could be my tramp stamp.
I mean, I usually use Word instead of Excel, but I guess I'm not wise.
Only the wise pivot table. Only the wise conditional format their hobby. Speaking of hobby, have you had to play around with that website Pile of Potential yet?
Actually, I watched your video on it. I'm glad you're spreading the word on it. As someone who last year, actually, I'll hold till after this.
According to the Battle Tome, what is the points value of the Grunstock gun hauler? Carriage and Overlords. Lee, this is where we test if I corrected this. Is it 150? Is it 110? Is it? Oh, fuck this up. I think I've messed this one up.
Which one's closest?
Because the Battle Tome points is different to the General's Handbook 2020, so I might technically get myself right here. Oh gosh. It doesn't matter, Lee. I think I needed to update the response. So technically, according to the Battle Tome, it's 150 points. According to General's Handbook, it's 130 points.
The trickiest trick question.
Oh, let's see if I have to update this question again. What was that?
But as someone who spent last year getting rid of my entire backlog, that I literally just have what's on my hobby table and I don't buy anything until then, I encourage it. So,
all right. So technically, guys, it's 150. Ken, Lee, Gary, you are all correct in my heart. I need to update that question. Lee, in Discord, hit me up and remind me to edit this question, please. So in the Battle Tome, it is 150 points. In the General's Handbook 2020, it's 130 points. Before Sigmar became a god, he was the young chieftain of which of these tribes? I'm not pronouncing them. You pronounce them in your heart and mind.
I can handle this. Is it Arminius, Theodoric, the Unberogan, or Boudica?
And that's why you're here. Shout out to Chuck. Um,
Actually, I'm thinking of doing another of my God history lore articles and on Sigmar. So you'll see one of these names quite a bit if I do get around to that here soon.
and it's probably, especially for people who didn't come from fantasy battles, knowing that like why Sigmar is so important to the Age of Sigmar and how we got to this point. But Chuck, do you know which tribe Sigmar came from?
The Unbroken.
Unbroken. That is correct. So I always think of Sigmar like a Conan, like a war chieftain.
It's pretty interesting because if you read the trilogy, Sigmar's trilogy from the Time of Legends series, it was Conan, and by the time it's incredible how much he in his lifetime took it from that to even just like a basic feudal time period.
Just uniting the human tribes to eventually what became the Empire through the alliances with the dwarves, with the alliances of the elves, the College of Magic, which underworld of Shyish that Nagash took refuge in when he was defeated by Archaon. So in the Age of Chaos, Archaon went into Shyish and defeated Nagash in his own realm. But then Nagash took refuge. Where was it in? Was it Hollowest? Is it Styx, Castinia, or Athasian or Athasia? I just see Asia.
Athanasia.
And I'm also losing my voice. Which I thought was really fascinating, imagining a god of the realm. You know, Nagash is the realm of death. Yes, and yet he was defeated in his own realm.
Well, he's always defeated. That's Nagash's power.
In his books,
in battle.
In his own book as well. That's but a lot of people calling out 2. They're thinking it is number 2. Crusaders, Vinny, everyone's thinking it's number 2. You guys are either on the old stream or you are very good at your lore. You guys are good. I told you this is the feel good episode. This is everyone knows all the right answers. All right. We have 6 questions left. What is the name of the god beast that Archaon tried to bind in Akshi during the Realm Gate Wars? Was it Behemat? Was it Ignax? Is it Argentine? Or is it Shimmerak? Which of these god beasts did Archaon try to bind in Akshi during the Realm Gate Wars? Do you know this one, Chuck?
I believe it's Ignax is the Great Worm, but he successfully bound that one for a little bit. Technically, I guess he tried to get Behemoth, but wasn't even close to getting that one.
Yeah, because we know Behemat was tried to be corrupted by chaos when Gorka Morka and Behemat were like tag team, and they wanted the Behemat to help break down the gates of Azir, and that's what caused a bit of a friction. And we've got Ignax obviously being one of the god beasts in Akshi. No, it was Shimon, wasn't Ignax Shimon?
No, Ignax is actually, it was the worm was like this big sun almost.
Correct answer was Ignax, by the way. Maybe because I'm thinking of Fire Slayers and I automatically assign them to Shimon. Shimon is the Pokemon master. I don't know what that reference is.
That should be your question. Where did the Shimon pronunciation come from? Which podcast?
Speaking of correct terms, the correct term for a squig is also known as a squigoth, squigidian, a squighound, a squiggly beast. So what is the correct term for a squig?
I also remember getting this one wrong, and I believe I remember the correct answer to this one. Where's the Phoenix question?
And the Phoenix question's in like quiz 3. That is something. So Nino makes a really good point. I would like to see models for god beasts. I would love at some point. 40K has their Primarchs. I want Sigmar to bring out God Beasts.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I believe the narrative event at Nova Open, the last one, obviously the last one that happened, they created a table that was a God Beast, and eventually they killed it. So then the next time the table came out, it was all like the guts and everything from the God Beast that was destroyed by the players.
And by the way, you can answer that question. Where did Shimon come from?
I believe it was the Dwellers Below podcast from a certain high elf prince. I believe that's the original answer.
The correct term is squig, is squiggly beast. So one of my favorite little war pieces. Who are the Ossiarch Bone Reapers allies? So can they ally with the Legion of Grief? Do they have no allies at all? Can they ally with the Nighthawk? Can they ally with the Flesh Eater Courts?
They can ally with Marathi. We've seen that in Broken Realms. Or I guess that could be a parlay. I don't know. I mean, bribe.
Well, it is a trick question. So we're talking here on the tabletop, but in some of our lore stories, we have seen the Ossiarch Bone Reapers ally with certain armies. I think Nighthawk was one of them. There was a big battle with the Ossiarch Bone Reapers and the Nighthawk.
Mm-hmm.
But Chuck, what would your guess be?
I believe they don't have any allies as far as rules go for tabletop.
That is correct.
Oh, yeah.
And that is something that I would like fixed, especially with I can see the Ossiarch Bone Reapers allying with parts of Legions of Nagash. Things like, there are certain things in Nagash, like not a lot, but the correct answer is no allies. Although in the lore, Scathe, you are correct as well. In the lore, Nighthaunt was a big ally of theirs, but in the game, they have no allies, which I find interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What best describes an ogre? Are they always thinking, always tired, always thirsty, or always hungry? What are ogres always doing?
They're always running from the Everwinter, isn't that? That's what we said earlier.
Chuck Moore stream is like, what does Chuck Moore best described as? Always lifting. But ogres are always tired, hungry, thirsty, or thinking. I always think of they're always thinking, right? They're always sitting around their moor pot, having a think, planning, stroking their beards.
Oh, they're the philosophers of the realms for sure. I have no doubt about that. They're saying the insightful, down-to-earth stuff that people need to hear.
Oh yeah, they are the Rodan's thinker of the mortal realms, sitting there with their fist under their chin, the thinking pose. They're like, But what would your answer be?
I would say always hungry. Seems to be the case, and I imagine a philosophical quote from an ogre would be along the lines of, "If you give an ogre some food, he'll be hungry in a day. If you eat that ogre instead, he'll never be hungry again."
Well said. Well said. They're always thinking about eating. They're always thinking about eating. So Scathe, maybe they're technically correct. Maybe that's right. They are always thinking about being hungry. Third last question. The Bone Splitter War clan that ignores the effects of ethereal would be Drackfoot, Bone Grinds, Icebone, or Iron Suns. So which of the Bone Splitter War clans ignored the effects of ethereal? Drackfoot, Bone Grinds, Icebone, Iron Suns. Oh, where was that? What ate first, chicken or egg?
Perfect.
Say philosopher again. I think people are laughing at my accent.
Oh, no, it's not laughing at, it's enjoying the velvety tones of your accent saying certain words.
It's like in Australia, we tease the New Zealanders when they say fish and chips. They go, fish and chops. Or they say six like socks. But we all laugh at each other. And that's what we need more in the world. More of a laughing at each other.
All about love and fun. Answer to this question is Drackfoot, though. I have a club member who plays it, and every time I bring my daughters against it, I just sigh heavily and do my best.
I remember playing this for the first time with a block of 30 Phoenix Guard, and I cried. I'm like,
Yeah.
like because they just shoot like 60 shots a turn. I'm like,
Yeah. What do you
per
mean I don't get
unit.
my
Per
extra
unit.
save?
According to GHB 20, which is the cheapest unit selection in the Legions of Nagash? Is it a Khan Wraith, a Dire Wolf, a Bat Swarm, or a Tomb Banshee? According to GHB, what is the cheapest Legion of Nagash model? So you've got a battle line there, you've got 2 heroes in there, and then you've got a something else.
I think there's another one. I know I got this one wrong last time, and I still don't know the answer.
I mean, you've got 2 heroes in there. You imagine they're sitting around the 100 points, right? They're hero.
I want to say Bat Swarms?
Ever faced a Bat Swarm?
No, I never have.
They used to be really cool, like because they cause you to have -1 to shooting when you're within 12. So
Ooh, okay.
So they can be quite annoying, especially when you pop them up from a grave site.
Yeah.
But what would your guess be?
Yeah, I'll say Bat Swarms. I'll say that was the cheapest one.
The popular vote, by the way, looks like 1. Like everyone's just gone 1. Travis has gone 1. So despite being a hero, indeed it is the Khan Wraith coming in at 1. So I think most people have gotten these right. We've got one final question, guys. One final question, and then we'll kind of bring it home, and I will go do birthday stuff. But the last question.
Everybody better get it right. This is for Coach.
Celestial Hurricane's mortal wound dealing Storm of Shemtek is triggered on a 3+, 2+, 4+, 5+. So the Storm of Shemtek sitting on the Celestial Hurricanum of the Cities of Sigmar Wizard Wagon. It is triggered by a 3+, 2+, 4+, 5+.
I have faced that thing more times than I care to remember from my good friend Alex. He loves running the cities list, and he decimates me every time with it.
Love the Wizard Wagon.
I don't know if this is correct or if it's just from his buffs, but he's always doing it on a 2+.
It's always a 2+, but even but just when it's damaged, it goes down from having 3 of those shots down to 2, down to 1.
Okay.
Back in the olden days, before Cities of Sigmar, it was interesting because you would then roll a dice to see how much damage you would take. On a roll of a 1, it was do 1 mortal wound. On a 2 to a 5, it would do D3 mortal wounds. And a roll of a 6, you'd do D6 mortal wounds. So it became really annoying because then you're rolling dice and trying to work it out, but it's just flat up 2+. It does D3 mortal wounds. So
nice.
Love my Hurricanum. Gary saying he doesn't see it as often because they took away Thermal Rider Cloak. That's partially true. That's partially true. But love my Wizard Wagon. So, AOS Crusader, Deernock, and Sergeant Benton all coming in with 21 out of 21. Also, Mackie Mac coming in with 21. Ken and Vinny only dropping 1 question with 20 out of 21. Max getting 18, Crazy Horse getting 18. So then some people jumping in and out. So I'm not gonna talk about the other guys, but yeah, you guys absolutely slayed it there. But I hope you guys had fun. Thank you for joining the celebration, and thanks for hanging out with me on my birthday. It's turning 37. Last night.
Birthday.
Thank you. Last night I went to a Viking restaurant and had a Viking feast. It was love that place. So if you're ever in Australia, ever in Sydney, come check out. There's a really sweet Viking restaurant. Like it's literally has like very Viking music, not like a monomath, more like just what you'd hear in a great hall, like Scandinavian, beautiful music.
So do you choose your knife? Because I saw your pictures on Twitter of it. So you're unroll and you choose the knife you use to eat with?
Yeah, the first thing I'll see if I can quickly bring up a photo and kind of like show you what I did. But yeah, what happens is one of your. All right, I'll bring this up. All right, give me a sec. I'll screen share this. Screen share the photos. See that?
There you go.
So you can drink from a horn. So they can serve you mead or drinks from a horn, which is pretty cool. And you got to tilt your horns a little onto the side. Otherwise, the air bubble will come up and it'll just push liquid into your face. So not cool. So I'm actually
that looks so good.
What happens is, the server comes up to you, and the first thing that you do is you have a shot. You have like a skull, and they actually give you a quote. I think the quote's in. Where's my quote? I've got a quote somewhere. It's like it talks about Odin and Freya and Loki. Actually, give me 2 seconds. I'll bring up the photo. I've got it in my.
I know whenever I make it over there to visit you guys, I want to go to this restaurant because it just looks like, I mean, it's Norse heaven. This is Valhalla.
You do a skull. It says, "May Odin give you knowledge on your path. May Thor grant you strength and courage on your way. May Loki give you laughter as you go." Skull, and then you take your shot. Then this person comes with like a big tool belt with a whole bunch of knives. You can't see the knives. You only see the handle, and you choose essentially your knife. The first knife that you pick is the knife that's spoken to you, and you order your food, and then it's kind of the restaurant that you share. So I just ordered a lamb braise with some potatoes, some broccoli. There was my knife that I chose. It's a beautiful knife. I got myself some bone marrow as well. Some dessert bone marrow, so it was like chocolate and marrow as well, with like a poached pear, and got lots of just drinks and stuff, and some oysters. But
that looks good.
Like axes everywhere and shields, and like I said, Viking music, massive whiskey bar. My beard's a little bit off the charts because I had to wear like a face mask before I went in, so it kind of went a bit bizarre.
I was say kudos to you for spending all that years of dedication growing the beard just for this trip to that restaurant.
There's the tool belt. There's the knife belt. So some pretty sweet knives. My wife chose that one, which has a really nice handle, but it actually just a very small knife. So as Lee's saying, does the Viking choose the knife or the knife choose the Viking? I can't.
Nice.
But yeah, so if you're in Australia, if you come into Sydney, I'd highly recommend checking that out. But I'm going to drop off now because I'm going to go take my dog for a walk. I'm going to go do birthday stuff, go hang out, and just got a whole bunch of stuff planned. But Chuck, you are an absolute legend. Go check out Strength Hammer. Go check out his blog. He's got a very cool blog, and he's a good friend of mine.
This is your birthday. You are the legend. I hope everyone wishes you happy birthday on Twitter, Facebook, in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that stuff for Coach today. And I hope you have a great day.
Oh, thank you. And if you guys want to hang out and you want to chat further as well, Discord link below. Come chat with us. We've got a pretty cool Discord. But guys, thank you for joining. I know it's late for some of my UK friends, Americans. I know you're still finishing off your Sunday. But thank you all very much. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for making my birthday awesome. And I will chat to you all guys later.